size restaurant, and it's also the first time I ever had an opportunity to eat Thai food. And kind of, she mentioned the dancing for a culture experience. First time that I've ever even knew that existed. Very pretty.
Never thought he'd come to Jonesboro.
That's right.
Just like sushi.
Right.
Is it like belly dancing?
Okay,
is there another restaurant of this type in Jonesboro at the present time
No, sir.
that you're aware of?
No, sir, not Thai.
Okay, Counselor, you have questions?
Not passes with it.
All right. Thank you very much, Luciano. Next witness.
Very brief.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Identify yourself.
My name is Christopher Markham Chapman.
Where do you live?
I live at 5307 Harrisford Road in Jonesboro.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a manager at Walmart.
Okay, and you and Sai are friends, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I've known her about 2 years now.
In your opinion, is she a person of good moral character?
She's never done anything to make me question her character.
And do you think if this board was to grant her a private club, that they would have any trouble with the police, ABC, or anyone else as far as, you know, any type of trouble?
I can't see that being a problem. She's pretty well on top of everything whenever I see her.
And have you eaten at a restaurant?
Yes, sir.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, sir. It's good Thai food.
Okay. That's all I have.
Can you envision this restaurant being a place that people would go and just sit down and order a minimum meal and then just sit there and consume alcohol?
No, sir.
It's not.
No, sir. I think if you look at the menu, I think the dollar amount are, prohibit that itself.
Okay, questions of the board. Paul?
Passes with it.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Counselor?
I rest.
You have nothing else. All right, Paul, will you call your witnesses, please?
Bobby Hefton.
All right, Bob, what's,
You want me to give
tell
my
us
name
about
first?
this.
Do I need to give my, seriously, do I need to give my name and address?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Okay, that's what I thought.
We all operate under the law, Bob.
You were not gonna give me a chance to say that. I'm Bob Hester from Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Just close and speak into it.
You have me to move over for you a little bit?
That'd probably be good.
Probably help.
You usually see that.
Yeah, hey, I'm kidding. You've got plenty of room over here.
Being sterile. Yeah. You want me to sing? Oh, wait.
Mr. Hester, you're opposed to this private club permit, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And Craighead County's voted itself dry, is that correct?
Correct.
And that's one of the main reasons you're wanting this to be denied, is that it's a dry county.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. Not a vote. It's being denied. To me, it's obvious, and then there are the obvious repercussions of having alcohol, which is why you voted county dry in the first place. So I think that goes without saying, basically.
Now, Mr. Hester, one of the points I'd like to make is the adequacy of permits that are already in Craighead County. How many permits are there in Craighead County at this time?
I believe count 21, 22, something like that. I believe it is.
Okay.
One of those.
Do you feel that there are adequate enough permits and establishments to satisfy the Craighead County area?
Oh, absolutely, without question.
Let me ask a question.
Sure.
Is any other restaurant served like that?
Yeah, the last Shoguns who came down here, they said they were a Thai, and Thai cuisine. So, and that was one of the reasons they
They're
did.
shaking their head.
Do we have an
Well, that's
exhibit?
what it said.
Do
I
we
can
have an
show you the
exhibit?
pen.
Do we have an exhibit from that hearing, Mr.
last year down here, I believe it was, Shogun's from Jonesboro. And that was, they said they were the only Thai.
Shogun's
Japanese.
So you're confused, Mike, I get it all.
Well, I'm not, I'm just telling you what they said. I'm not confused at all about it.
Miss-
She said
Here we go.
Japanese.
Okay.
Can you-
Is this for you when they start reading?
Yes, can you please identify this exhibit here?
This is a, this is the board decision from Shogun, as a matter of fact, that's what this is. Okay?
Okay, and can you please read down there what,
The underlined part?
yes, please.
Okay, it also appears from its supplemental menu insert, and also by way of testimony from Mr. Heringer, that Shogun's is the only Oriental restaurant that wants to have a private club permit that will serve Thai style food. And that's what they said. I'm not confused at all about it, Mr. Ellis.
Okay, we'd moved to introduce that as our exhibit 4, I believe. Okay. Mr. Hester, had this board previously denied liquor permit just mere vicinity of restaurants and not based on food that was being served?
You talking about the El Chico, Old Charlie situation? Or
El Chico and Old Charlie's? Yes.
Were the board denied, it was 3-1 vote, I think Mr. Ford was with us on that one, and if I remember right.
Sometimes Bob loves us, and sometimes he doesn't.
It's putting this article right here from Jonesboro Sun written by Carol Greco. But
Did you read that?
Mr. Fuller said the panel was to consider, is that the one you're talking about? Or this part here?
Go ahead and read
Fuller said the panel was to consider each case of its own merits and he felt the public in the vicinity of the restaurant was adequately served by the availability of alcohol.
Now, was that in regards to the El Chico and Old Charlie's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And did they have different fare menus at the time?
Yes, they had, Chico's is a Mexican place, I guess you call it Mexican, and Old Charlie's a big, what?
Burger joint. Burger.
Traditional American food, did you say that way?
Like a Shorty Smalls or Chili's or something.
I've never been there, so
Okay. We'd move to introduce this as opposition 5.
The old decision. You know, each one of these, as Bob knows, we tried to think about it on its own merits, and every one of them stands alone.
Mr. Hester, can you identify this exhibit here for me?
Oh, it's we call it editorial by Jonesboro Sun editor Roy Ockert Jr. on for Sunday, February the 18th, 2007.
And in that article, what was the ABC board's?
Well, it said the ABC board rejected a private club permit for the El Chico restaurant of Jonesboro on the ground that the area was already adequately served.
Okay, go ahead. Read it.
Then in short order approved a 4th permit within a 2-block area of downtown Jonesboro.
Okay. Now, as far as the downtown area, how many restaurants are there? Or how many, and so that have a liquor
Oh, they
permit,
have a
private club permit?
It's different. The others, I believe there are 5 currently. This would be the 6th one if it's granted.
So the 6 right there in a 2-block radius, is that
Right,
correct?
2 short blocks as a matter of fact.
This will be the 2nd one that serves Thai food.
Not at that area. Not the Shogun is on the other side in real Jonesboro. Let's call it that way. Not a pretend Jonesboro.
Now, the other side testified about the parking, Mr. Hester. Can you please identify this for me?
No, that's
That's not a
not.
parking.
That's business.
Oh, okay. Can you please identify this for me? I apologize, I didn't get that attorney. Can I go ahead and introduce?
Please.
Is that?
This is the news article, that's correct.
Yeah.
Jonesboro's son? Correct.
Mr. Hester, moving on to parking. Do you feel that there is a problem with parking?
Yes, sir.
In the downtown area where they're proposing to put this private club?
Hold on just a minute. Paul, we're gonna turn this back. Okay, repeat that question. What did you call?
Mr. Hester, do you feel that there is a problem with parking in the downtown area where they're proposing to put this private club?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell me from your own personal knowledge what your experience has been in this downtown area and your observations?
Well, it's obvious. I don't think you can talk to anyone. I think it's anybody in the room probably, if they could drive down that area, that could park it during the day. Now during night, it's kind of a different story. But during the day, there's a real problem with parking. And first, during lunchtime or something like that, well, it's just the opposite. It's hard to find a parking spot very close. I mean, you can always go so far and find a parking place, but I'm talking about in a reasonable distance from a business restaurant or something like that.
Mr. Hester, can you please identify this for the board and please tell me what the Jonesboro Police Chief has to say about parking?
They all know Floyd, most of them know Mickey Bug on this stuff. This is an article from the Jonesboro Sun by Carol Grigby on 3/18/04, reporting on a decision or a board hearing, and former says Jonesboro Police Chief Floyd Johnson, which is he's deceased now, but he was just 4 years ago, warned the board it would be opening the floodgates to other applications if it granted Carol's permit, and he said Main Street has always been a traffic problem, and right now it has a parking problem. Now, this is 4 years ago. Kind of keep this in line, this timeline in mind as we move along here.
Okay. And I'm going to go through several others, and I'll just introduce them all at the same time, save time for the board. Mr. Hester, can you please identify this article here for the board?
This would be from the Jonesboro Sun. Does not have a date on it. I'm not friend of the Jonesboro Sun.
What's the heading of it?
It says the Thai restaurant seeking permit for liquor, so it was recent article.
Okay. And Mr. Hester, in regards to the article discusses parking, can you please read that to the board? Who said it and what was said?
Okay. This is Larry Don Rose, quoting Larry Don Rose, the owner of El Matador, which was previously Julio's. It says, "I hate to leave downtown, but being in a basement and with parking, the location, I'm just never going to make it." But he's emphasizing parking.
What was the date of that?
It does not have a date on it, but it's whatever they made. It's still about them making an application. So it's been a couple, 3 months ago.
And now,
And where is their restaurant in relation to this proposed restaurant?
It's yeah, it's probably about 500 yards, probably 500
All those
yards.
little restaurants are kind of down.
It's 2 blocks in short, and 3 of them. This Brick House is here, Size is here, and Goss's is real close to Brick House. Then the next block down, which is a short block, you have Heroes over here, El Matador over here, and Shipment right here. So you have 3 close proximity up here and 3 close proximity down here.
Mr. Hester, I'm confused. I
Sure,
think-
I'll straighten you out.
Am I right or wrong? You don't live in Jonesboro.
I probably spend more time than I don't. I'm not
But
in
you
the
don't
city,
live in
not in the
Jonesboro.
city limits.
Are these
But I tell you
things
what,
like making you crazy?
You don't live in
They
Jonesboro.
like make you nuts?
I've always been crazy. So
You're not a taxpaying citizen of Jonesboro, that's what.
I bet you I pay taxes in Jonesboro.
Oh, we all pay. I paid rent last week because we paid policy.
Exactly.
That's what you're
Yeah.
doing.
I'm third or fourth generation Craighead County.
But you're not from Jonesboro.
I am from Jonesboro. It's a route, but it's Jonesboro. It's not Warner Ridge. It's not Oxy. It's Jonesboro.
so according to the article, they're going to have to move to a different
They've already-
location.
They've already applied to move and real down across. the
Which
town.
is certainly within their purview to make a business
Right, we just,
decision.
yeah, we're not arguing that, it's just. making-
Obviously, this lady thinks that it's okay, and she may not mind if people walk 3 blocks to her restaurant. You go to the River Market here in downtown Little Rock, and there are times that you might have to walk 5 or 6 blocks to get to the Copper Grill or to get to a good restaurant down here. So you choose to kind of vote with your feet, whether you go in there, spend
Yeah,
money. or
I'm not
whatever
arguing
you
into
do.
that, I'm just.
And I go into
just-
restaurants that don't
give
have
me the facts.
alcohol and love them.
I just give you the facts, you do with them what you want to do.
Mr. Hester, can you please identify this next article for us?
Oh, this is another article from Jonesboro Sun. I don't see a date on it, but, oh, it was, yeah, I got it written in. It's last Sunday, October 12th, in Jonesboro Sun.
And there's a pertinent part in this article regarding traffic and parking. Can you please read that for
Sure.
the board?
Well, this is a quote from Jason Willett, who is a mayoral candidate, and he's been out here and testified in favor.
We know Mr.
We
Willett.
know him. And he says, this is last Sunday. The other article was 04, that's what I said, keep that in mind. That was 4 years ago. This is current. Traffic and parking are stifling downtown. If you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe them. All I can say. That's what they say.
Well, we'll move to
Well,
it.
do you think, though, he would make a statement like that to discourage business from going into downtown, or make a statement like that to encourage the city fathers and leaders to get more parking downtown?
The reality,
No, what do you think?
that's what I'm saying, the reality, what I think the reality is there's never gonna be enough parking place down there to do what they think they're gonna do. I mean, I would challenge anybody, if you can come up there and look at it and disagree with me, fine, but that's the reality. And they are doing some things, granted, I mean, they're doing some things, but there's never gonna be a lot of parking places there unless they tear the building down, in my opinion.
Okay, what else? Go ahead.
Mr. Hester, if you can, in your own personal knowledge and your own observations, can you describe the traffic and what's going on down there with traffic?
Well, it's a heavy traffic area, of course. I know they don't believe it, that's okay. He's got his opinion, like I got mine, so I don't, but they're, Jonesboro, probably like Cabot, growing, and I thought, they were saying Cabot was the second fastest growing. I actually thought Jonesboro was the second fastest growing, but anyway, it shows you how much I know. They are growing exponentially, I guess, I don't know, but anyway, growing greatly. And so anytime you have that situation, you have a traffic problem, and we do have a traffic problem. We've maintained that about every time we come down here, I believe.
Bob, once again, and I always ask you this question, and probably get some answer. We ask every time, we got a parking problem, we got a traffic problem. I don't have a city official here. I don't have a one that comes down here and testifies. I don't have a one that says there's a problem. I don't have a one that says we don't want another business downtown. Now, you got Willett talking about traffic, but I don't have any letters in this file, and it's a consistent deal that we see. Obviously, you've talked to these people, mayors and everybody else, asking them, where is there the city's opposition, traffic engineers, people, you are a concerned citizen from somewhere other than Jonesboro. You're not the traffic engineer. Where are the people that can tell me, we got big problems down there. Where are they?
Don't know.
I don't know either.
Which, the part of the situation is controversial issues, and people are not like me. I believe what I believe, and I'm going to dig in.
I respect you.
No matter what the consequences. But most people, especially politicians and elected officials, as a whole, if they can, they will stay out of situations. And so, where they're at, you tell me, we'll both know, I guess.
But you got the Chamber of Commerce, right?
Yeah, write
I
letters.
don't think so. We'll get that in a minute, but I don't think so.
All right, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead and address.
Oh, yeah.
This is, please identify that, Mr. Hester.
This is Main Street right here, and this is the area we're talking about right over here. Main Street this is 49 South comes across the bypass here. We got hand out for that, because closer to be there. So I think they've seen it before, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we have.
If you can, Mr. Hester, please describe the exhibit that was presented here to the board.
It shows how 49 comes in here and across the bypass, you go to Southwest Drive and goes down Main Street, and then connects into Dan Avenue or Johnson Avenue, which is also 63B, which goes from north over and next back towards Paragu. And what it is, it's a one of the main corridors. It's a real heavy traffic, and one of the reasons why it's even heavy is because of the traffic over around the mall. People try to avoid that, and so they'll try, like any of us would, try to take a less travel there, but then that makes this very much travel, and that's primarily it's a the main corridor there.
Okay. Do you think that this additional private float permit and the additional traffic on that would cause a burden or cause a hazard to citizens of Craighead County and just other people in general?
Well, I don't know how much the traffic will increase, because that determines whether they make it or not, and what the business is like. So I can't judge that. Our concern is always with someone goes in and they more than they should drink, and get out in the, because it is a heavy traffic area to start with, and get them on that.
Bob, since they passed, the legislature passed a law under which we operate now, we don't have police or own gas. Have DWIs gone up? And wrecks and everything gone up?
I know that if you've been a few wrecks down. And I don't know, I presented to y'all one time down here something that showed the number of wrecks, and I didn't want to do that again this time, just to save some time and whatever. But I think they've gone up at from a certain time, from a certain permit. I don't know.
Well, I know we all had because there was some controversy about it when the Democrat was out, did their big deal. That showed that, and I know you disagreed with that, but it actually showed that dry counties had a higher incidence of DWI than wet counties.
And if you look at the map,
sort of tribute to people driving back and forth.
And if you look at the map and see where the wet counties are down in the Delta,
yeah,
it's flatland basically.
Yeah, those
and
are
most of the dry counties are in the hills, and I tell you what,
But you
that will make all the world of difference.
You don't know right now whether it's gone up or not.
Most
No.
of the dry counties are in the hills.
Don't know in the Delta.
No, wet counties are.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, JJ. Yeah, most of it, yeah. Generally speaking, if you draw an angle across the map there, most of it's in the Delta.
Okay, let's move on here, please.
Mr. Hester, I've handed you another exhibit entitled Travel Time and Delay Study. Mr. Hester, can you please explain that to the board, and please explain that?
Well, that's, the date here is 2007. It's for the Jonesboro Metropolitan Planning Organization, and it was produced because of the problem situation, of the traffic situation. And so to try to help them figure out what to do. And then we got the whole thing back here, and I've shown that to you before if they're interested in it, but that's the cover right there. And then there's what's in here, anyway, it's taken from, this was just to show that it was enough problem that they did this. And then this next sheet here was taken, and the material back there too, from the Jonesboro guy, and the traffic guy printed that out for me, all the traffic, showing the traffic in the different streets and things like that. And it shows, did you want to pass that out?
I've already given it.
Okay. It shows that, this is validating that there's a lot of traffic on Main Street. And it shows that Main Street is average of those three places right there that they check, it's averaged 81% of capacity. This was 2005, so I'm sure it's gone up now. And that's highest of any of these areas, including Caraway Road and everything over there by the mall, that area. And then the 86% is the highest single one. It's on Main Street north of Cape in the whole thing.
Council, I'm encourage you and Attorney Tudor, we budgeted, we'll certainly go a little bit over, but we budgeted about an hour for this hearing. So let's try to get our stuff in the record if we know to
Well, I'm sorry, ladies, we say up front, they weren't, when we had prepared, did a pretty good
They
job.
sure do look adequately prepared to me. All right.
And we got another case at
We
3.
we have another case.
Draws a long way.
Well, if the board would prefer, we can, I guess we stipulate to our exhibits.
No, how many do you have here? And I'll guarantee you this, a lot of this stuff is what Bob has put in every one that's come down here.
I mean, I've got it memorized.
I mean, we've seen this for 5 years now.
So how much of your stuff do you
I
have?
feel like prefer to preserve it for,
Absolutely.
in case we're not successful.
New broom sweeps clean. So how many more do you have, and can you take each one of them and sum
Mr.
them
Chairman,
up?
I've kind of broken it down into different
Right.
categories here, and you can see I've got 4 more folders to go through. So if the chairman would prefer,
Are there, let's do this. Bob, are there any of these that are not new arguments, or that are new arguments in terms of why a permit like this should be denied? I want you to bring those out if they're new arguments that this board has not heard.
See one in the double one.
Okay.
Well, you won't know
Well,
if they're new or not.
if he has me something to ask him, we need to go over it.
Well, we're not gonna cut you off, you know, if you wanna sit here and put them in, but I'm just mentioning that, you know, we've heard, if these are the same things that Bob has brought down here each time, they're probably in every record thing. You may need to put them in your record, and you may need to mention them individually. I'm not gonna keep you from doing that. We'll leave that up to you. I would like, though, to, you know, keep in mind, we have other Arkansas cases to deal with here, so.
I understand.
Do what you
Chairman.
need, do what you need.
We
to
got
do.
one at 3 o'clock, 15 minutes.
I understand, Chairman, and if the board would just prefer I just stipulate and to stick them in, I can do that.
Well, why don't you just say, well, give us a brief statement of what each one of them is and put it in the record.
Can you please identify this?
Yeah, just identify what they are, Bob, and put them in the record.
Do you want me to, like, quote that real
Yeah,
quick?
go ahead and
Okay.
identify what the exhibit is and, you know, where it comes from
Okay,
and
all right.
what it verifies.
Okay, this is a KIT story on 42307. It's about traffic, and it starts out downtown crossing. It says, fast cars and waiting pedestrians. That's what Main Street in Jonesboro is like on a daily basis. The city of Jonesboro has tried time and again to slow down the speed of motorists as they pass through the downtown area. So, and then-
Article on bad traffic.
Okay.
And who was, and can you tell us who it was that was quoting this?
Well, right here, so we see a lot of cars traveling at a high rate of speed with a high rate of pedestrian walking down here, or living down here. Clay Young.
Okay.
Clay Young, the one that said these
But
things?
about people speeding, we're here talking about
We're-
traffic or
Liquor
parking.
permits.
I think
That's all we can
I think you adequately made, we don't control the traffic in Jonesboro, okay?
Is it a
The
consideration?
individual, yes, it is a consideration. But we're not the traffic engineers. Okay?
Mr. Hester, been a repeated theme of the restaurants and the different people applying for these permits in downtown Jonesboro, that they have to have the alcohol permit to compete. Is that correct? And has the
Correct.
permits provided them any kind of has it changed anything?
Well, okay. El Matador, Friday night, the doors were locked. Shut down. That's the one that's applied to move. Nobody there, nothing. Sheffield's right next door. The restaurant was closed, it was dark. The bar that they put in, which I think they opened on Friday, Thursday, which they put in, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, without coming back and getting permission to put it in, was open. The restaurant building is for sale for $1,230,000.
Bob, what does that have to do with this permit? I want testimony on this permit.
Okay, is
we
it-
have to vote on.
Well, I think they're not, I think they must be adequately served, or
Okay.
places wouldn't have built,
That's the argument.
That's the argument, yeah.
Okay.
What other, of these, places are shutting down there in, that area in downtown area?
Well, there are businesses come, but they don't stay very long, and one of the articles, Jonesboro Sun,
Sheffield still open?
no, Sheffield's, they were dark Friday night, and Mr. Hunter wrote a letter down here when they put in the boosters that they were struggling to stay open, so they're just about
This
shut
isn't
down.
up to us to keep, if somebody goes out of business or not.
Again, adequacy thing, that's the issue to me.
But, Mom, even if every one of these restaurants went out of business, let's just say they do go out of business, that's just a circle of free enterprise competition.
They should have the chance to do that.
I mean, so if they do go out of business, fill me in.
Well,
Tell me something new.
they-
Just repeated yourself over and over.
They've got a chance to go, they don't need this alcohol to go into business. Why do they want to go into business without alcohol?
Well,
They can't.
Exactly, they can.
And, you know, you are just, you, in this great scheme of people and voters and the folks that live in this country, they have every bit as much right to come down here and ask for this
Sure.
as you have to come down here and ask,
Exactly.
you know, that it doesn't happen. You're one man with one opinion.
And I'm not coming down here and saying, don't do it because I don't like it. I'm not saying that.
Well, Mr. Chairman, you know, we started at 1 o'clock.
We're an hour over.
We're about to get to 3 o'clock. These good people from Bassett, which is up in Mississippi County, which I'm gonna guess is quite a long drive. I mean, I think it's ill-considerate of us to hold these people up. Bob and them have had 2 hours. Most of this has been repetitious. Bob has presented it to him, to us at least, every time he's come down here. The new attorney, I want to give him his due. He's trying hard, trying to make an effort. But all this is repetitious, and I just don't think, in my opinion, unless Bob's got something new, I think it's time to move on. And I call for the question, and you know, there's nothing new that's been presented here today. In fact, I would make the argument that we have just heard 2 hours of nothing but repetition that's been brought to us for the last 6 years. You're much more patient than I am, but I just don't believe these people from Bassett out back here.
That's a broad stretch, Mr. Bigwell.
I mean-
All right, let's, Bob, Mr. Paul, y'all have some things. Tell us something new that we haven't heard.
You want to get these introduced?
Yeah.
You wanna go ahead and
Okay.
introduce these?
I'll just,
Okay.
and I won't read them, I'll just
All
say
right.
what they are, okay?
Tell us what
This
they
is,
are.
where Sheffield's is for sale.
Okay?
That's taken off the internet. This article is where Sheffield's were doing real good business before they got their alcohol permit. And it's from the Occasions magazine. This one right here is, what did we want to do with this one? Well, it's where she, I think it's where she says she made this for competition. Basically, an article from the
Who's
Jonesboro
that?
Sun.
Sai?
Yeah, Sai. August 21st, 2008, from the Jonesboro Sun. Then we got an article here on where Carol Monarchy put in their bar, and then another Jonesboro Sun 2604, where where they said, Carol said this will not be a nightclub, it will continue to operate a restaurant, there's no bar in it, but the bar in, contrary to what they asked for. And this was already, this is about location to those sitting down, this is Jonesboro Sun. And this is a picture of El Matador, the building where El Matador is for sale. The whole building's for sale, as a matter of fact, according to the internet. And this again is where Larry Don Rose said, I hate to leave downtown, but parking problem.
I just want to put all those into the record.
This is the Jonesboro
Please.
Sun, August 8th.
Okay. And
Right,
Mr.
come over
Hester,
there.
do you have concerns about the enforcement of the permits?
Yes, I do.
Can you please describe to the board what your issues are with enforcement?
Well, I tried to get this in before, and I was kind of cut off on, I believe, during the Shogun thing, and I think it's very relevant because of enforcement. All permits have to be enforced, and the regulations have to be enforced, so once they get it, there's got to be enforcement.
Mr. Hester, tell them what your concerns are with enforcement, please.
That there are not enough enforcement agents to even adequately enforce regulations on current permit holders.
How many current permits are outstanding right now?
I mean, how many permits in the state there are?
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I think it's around 5,000.
Okay, and how many are in Craighead County?
There are 22 in Craighead County, and we don't. Matter of fact, we don't have an officer right now. I think they're going to put one in next week, but we don't even have an officer in Craighead County right now. Enforcement officer.
There's no enforcement officer in Craighead County?
Well,
Now,
well, what leads you to believe that Shogun's is breaking the law, doing something that agents need to go there to enforce in the first place?
What did they say a while ago in the other hearing about?
Not
Yeah,
taking
the same reason. The same reason, because there's nobody there to make them do what they're supposed to do.
Well, what makes you think they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Because I get stories of people going in, not Shogun in particular, but
Well, you brought Shoguns up.
I did.
Ms. Hester, can you identify this?
This is an email from a retired enforcement agent. He says there's no way we could handle all the number of outlets in the state. I had several hundred in Garland County alone, with assigned to 7 counties and others selected, often sent elsewhere. And there have been a lot, probably 600-700 new permits since that time. Well, no, not that, maybe 300 since that time. Since 2002, I think there have been about 600 or 700 new permits, and no new enforcement officers. And I'm not sure you get what my point there. There's no oversight of these things. Not proper oversight. I'm talking about across the.
That's your opinion. You can't back that up with anything.
Well, they've
heard you back it up with anything.
Okay, they don't have any more enforcement officers now than we had in 2002, and if they've got 600 more, 700 more permits, is that not logical to conclude that they don't have enough enforcement, even if they didn't have
Well, I
back
don't
then?
have any idea how many permits
I
have fallen
took them
off
out.
of that, but
Well, some have, granted, I mean,
we operate under.
but we're concerned, I know, but our argument is we're concerned about.
But there's another point here too, is that the city of Jonesboro has a police department. We're not the only people that police these.
Okay, most alcohol.
After the fact, after it's like, they had a shooting or something like that.
Well,
of
that
course,
chief of police was pretty tough on them up there. He's pretty tough.
he's pretty good, but that's after something. I'm talking about, when they go in.
Mr. Hester, I'm sorry to cut you off. I was going to try to wrap things up. Mr. Hester, are the petitions, are you wanting to introduce the petitions against this at this time?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, and where are the petitions at?
I think we have a copy, we certainly have a copy of them in the file. It looks like the original
There's
that are in the file.
all the new applications, have those are transfer location, all that sort of thing. But there are.
Well, we could use the shortage.
That's for sure.
Yes, go ahead.
Now, let me ask a question. Are these in addition to what is already
This
in
will
the
be the
record?
total. This
Huh?
will be the total.
Then they already have.
But they're already in the
Yes.
file. These are the ones we've looked at as we passed them down, or these are.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, this will be the total. county village.
Oh, okay, this is different than what's in the file?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. How many of, what does that
Can you
represent?
go ahead and, can you go ahead and verify this for the board?
Oh, how many does this represent? Well, there's.
No, yes, what does that represent? Can you verify this for the?
You know, what are we looking at?
These are petition signatures, not petition.
And these were gathered, as I always ask the
Basically the
questions,
same way, most of them have.
gathered
been passed.
together from
Some possibly were people
taking them around, taking
mostly-
churches and
mostly-
what have you, just a
mostly
Duke's mixture.
Not out there, you know.
And for this specific instance, for this specific restaurant.
Oh, yeah, yes, 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 yes.
Sai Thai.
Individually.
And
Let me stop for a second.
How many did you actually collect, Mr. Hester?
That was 14 and 13, is that what I said?
1,400, about 1,400?
1432.
1,432.
1433. And that's in addition to what's already in the.
No,
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 that's
this,
total.
this should be total.
And that was 32 or 33?
32.
And that was collected in the church.
Probably,
In and out of
primarily.
In and out of Jonesboro.
Mr.
Out of county.
Craig County.
Craighead County.
Mr. Hester, do you still have other exhibits here with the?
Yes, okay.
Letters of
We got
opposition?
mayors, letters from 5 small town mayors. and,
Around Jonesboro. These are the ones, same fellows that always write.
Yeah, they just changed the dates.
We got,
We've seen these a dozen times.
Okay. Where's, was that all?
his. Didn't I give you that?
I wanna make sure I didn't.
Did you tear one up?
Bob, I'll ask my normal question. You don't think these 5 mayors that always write in from around Jonesboro are maybe a little jealous of Jonesboro and it's, what's going on there?
They just need one.
Well, they just need one, yeah, that should get, but they want the original one, I had.
I got it right here.
But, well, that's, he's got one copy. So you got the others.
All right, what else do you got to introduce, Mr. Gay?
JP letters, we got 6 JP letters.
Same ones in the usual.
I think there's one, well, one of them is elected, just brand new elected, and, maybe 2 of them.
While you're going through those, Mr. Hester, might I ask, do you eat Thai food?
You know, I'm sort of, because taken, I'm not that much of a meat eater, but I'm, you know, just,
Now, have you ever been in her restaurant?
no, never had.
Do you know anything derogatory or bad about her as a person or
Like we
individual?
said about everybody, come down, we're not saying they're bad people and like that, we don't know. Probably not anything.
So there's no reason for us to be concerned that she won't run a good restaurant, a good operation, and be an law-abiding citizen and do all the above.
I don't know, so I can't.
We all have checks because you served them.
That's what we're out here for.
Mr. Hester, can you please identify these?
These are,
Oh, yeah, prohibition.
these are, 6 JP.
These are
That's just
6
big
letters from JP in opposition of Sai Thai's private club permit, is that correct?
Correct.
That's what
Okay, we move to introduce them.
And here's one from the county judge, yeah, county judge.
County Judge Dale Haas, in opposition.
Yes. And we,
Well, y'all got a new prosecuting attorney.
yeah, fixing to have or whatever.
Yeah, I saw where, I guess the former one got elected
Judge.
judge, so we got a new name coming on the prosecuting attorney. All
Right.
right, that's new.
Yeah. Scott Dad used to be,
Yeah.
used to be prosecutor, did y'all know that?
No,
Okay, let's keep moving.
Here, this right here is, well, what did I just give you?
You gave us some more.
Okay, this is the councilman right here. There's the original. This is a, councilman, Darrell Doto.
Jonesboro City Council.
Yeah, that's the original right there. That's all.
Mr. Dolan, he normally writes them.
And these in opposition.
He's in opposition, yeah. That's the first councilman we've had.
What?
Okay.
Yeah,
They didn't send it in. So they're putting it in right.
Got one from the state rep elect, not in office yet, but.
Who is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's,
Is there one from the chief?
Louis Wilkins.
Louis Will,
Yeah, they go.
in opposition.
what's the sheriff?
And got one here
Is
from.
Butch a
We don't
Jonesboro
know if
resident?
I'm sure. Jonesboro.
Butch Wilkins, is new rep. Is he a Jonesboro resident?
Oh, we do?
For Is that his legislative district?
It's part of
I
it.
think he's like.
No, he's kind of on the north side of town, but he takes in north side of Jonesboro. I don't know just how much or anything like that, but he takes in part of Jonesboro, the north side.
Okay.
Here's one from Harold Ray, and he's head of the Mount Zion Baptist Association, and he represents 46 churches, 22,200 members, church members, and 14,949 average attendance. You know how attendance is not always. So that's that. And here's letters from, I got letters on it. Here's about 12 letters, I believe it is, and I think these are all written right here from pastors and churches. Voice, one church from Nazarene. We're a form letter, but
We can move in to introduce all these.
and then we got some from some from pastors here anyway. I think it's
You already turned in the
12,
pastor?
13. Yeah, did we already? That's right.
We just did the past.
Yeah, but you only had one letter, I think, one already. And that's, I believe that's all.
That's everything you want to put in the file?
Well, you know, to be honest with you, I think if we had another hour, we could present a whole lot more, but I know you're not gonna give it to us, so.
Maybe next time.
Maybe
Save
next
some of
time.
it, save the best
Well,
for next time.
you know,
Talk to the director, maybe he can put half a day.
it'll be good. That's good talk.
You know something you might want to think about, Bob?
I got a lot to think about, JJ.
Put all of this on video.
Hey, good talk.
Put it all on
I don't
video.
know why I didn't think of that myself.
And your greatest hits on Jonesboro. Send it all to us.
No.
We can review it. Yeah, before it comes.
Okay, we're getting a little stray here. Okay, is that all your witnesses?
I've got just one more exhibit, Chairperson, I'd like to introduce,
Okay.
Mr. Fuller. This is a letter from, Danny Alts, regarding the legislative intent. Danny Alts.
We've seen Senator Alphas's letter on that as well, I think.
And we just moved to introduce that.
And put that in.
I'd like to see that myself.
Yeah.
He's speaking for the entire legislature.
Well, no, I don't really think so. That's his opinion on legislative
He's
intent.
one of them voted for it though.
Yeah, I know.
And it only passed by one vote.
But it's still his legislative.
It passed by one vote.
If it-
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes in a democracy.
But then he said it wasn't the right interpretation.
You need to go challenge that.
Challenge that at the Supreme Court or with the legislature. Okay. With that, Paul, do you have any other witnesses?
Mr. Hester.
Well, as I know, like I say, I think we had some more time and we could present some of the other stuff that we had, but I'd like to note that we don't have enough time to do it.
Well, we're trying to get a lot of cases heard, as you well
I
know,
understand.
Bob, and, over the years, you've had a lot of time to
I'm
present.
not calling anybody in particular for the agenda, because I know that's hard to, write.
No,
out.
it is, and it, like I said, it's a little interesting that, y'all come asking for continuance, and you got enough paper here to have killed 1,000 trees, that you, okay.
I appreciate y'all's time, and I appreciate
Hey,
y'all
listen.
giving me, opportunity or
You're quite welcome.
Well, we didn't mean to buff you up too much here. Okay, with that, we're going to, anybody from the board have anything else to add or say or ask? No other comments in terms of things people need to put in a file, wanting to make sure everybody's heard. And then with that, I will ask you to sum up as to why you think this permit should be granted.
I just got 3 questions for Bob.
Yeah, okay, I'll let you.
You quoted John Hanger, the applicant for Shoguns, being a Thai restaurant. John Hanger is the landlord, not the owner of Shoguns. Is that correct?
He said down here that he was owner of Shogun. I don't know. That he was owner of the business, all right?
And doesn't the sign outside Shogun say Shogun's Japanese Steakhouse?
I think he does.
Okay. And have you ever eaten Thai food at Shogun?
No.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
Okay.
Note that that's what he
With
said down here.
that, we're going to allow you to briefly sum up as to why you think the permit should be granted.
Through exhibits and testimony from several witnesses today, we believe that Sai to be a quality person, an applicant, and it would be in the public interest to grant this permit. We feel that her intentions are for pursuing a private club permit are not purely for consumption of alcoholic beverages, but rather for the social, recreational, and benevolent benefit of the members and their guests. Lastly, most importantly, we feel that through her nonprofit corporation, Sai Thai Cuisine of Jonesboro, that Sai and the members of this corporation intend on benefiting many needy charities in the Jonesboro area. We think she's a qualified applicant and deserving of this private club permit.
Paul?
I'll rest the evidence that's input for the board and save everybody's time.
Thank you very much. Before I call this question, I'd like to remind the board that we, as always, need a finding of facts in this of what the evidence showed. I would also remind you that we've had some questions regarding the legality of the 501c3. I would appreciate in your motion, whatever it is, that you either found those compelling reasons that the facts were sufficient to support that as far as the 501c3 and the application and the other things as well. So with that, in the case of Sai Thai Cuisine of Jonesboro, refused by the director on August 21, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion. First of all, whether Mr. Hester may not realize it, but I have been listening. Listening to his usual reasons of opposition with his letters presented from different public officials and pastors, along with a stack of petitions. It usually comes from the same churches and all this. Then I listen to the other side too, and I'm going to make a motion that we overturn the director's decision based on several reasons. First of all, I believe all the bylaws and papers pertaining to the private club charter are in order. Also presented was a letter from the Chamber of Commerce and any businesses downtown in support. I think we have a good applicant. Graduate of Arkansas State. Yeah, Arkansas State. I wrote that.
It is Tech.
It is Tech.
Philip just getting upset.
Has cooking experience, good classes. Going to do a lot of sponsorships in different charities in town. Has gone through the ABC seminars. Another good reason is I believe from what of the testimony of Mr. Young that there is adequate parking and well lit. The restaurant sits 60 people, has 2 levels. They have a bar, but it's not a walk-in type bar. It's for serving food only, and it's there while they're waiting on for a table. Now hours are very reasonable from 11 to 2, 11 to 2 p.m. and then opening up again at 5 and 9:30 only, Monday through Saturdays. There's no schools or churches that have been said that would be affected by this permit. There's 1,030 signatures in support of the restaurant. And again, I go back to the testimony of Mr. Young, who is very familiar with the area. He states that there is no traffic problems and there's not been any accident problems. Also, I listened to the testimony of Mr. Chapman, who's the manager of Walmart, and their testimony about the character of the applicant, and also about
place, how do you thought the food was? And with that said, I think this permit will be in a public service.
I'll say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ellis. We've had a motion and a second that the director's decision be overturned and the permit granted. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chairman votes aye by a vote of 5-0. The permit is granted. Now, encourage you to follow the rules and regulations. This is a privilege permit. It's a privilege license. It's not a right. And that permit can go away just as quickly. The police will, from time to time, look in on you as we can. We have ABC agents that do monitor. You've been through the classes. You know how to pay your taxes. So we would encourage you with this opportunity to continue to be a good corporate citizen. Make your community proud. So with that, we thank everybody, as always, for coming. We're going to take, we're way over, but we're going to take about 10 minutes. Paul, thank you. And we didn't mean to rough you up too much. Well, let's just, you know, just, you can come backstage like this.